Hey, everybody. Okay, we're live, and it's kind of it's so comical. This is the fun part about what we do and why we do what we do. Okay, uh, so Alan's having computer glitches. He's trying to get back on. Oh, there he is. Hi, big guy.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey. So his glitches are over. I had computer glitches, so I'm sitting down here in my basement
Right.
in a closet, but we're still here going live. So
That's a big,
welcome.
that's a big closet.
A big closet. Hi, AJ.
AJ's on with us. We got people
Yeah,
joining us.
you
Let us
know,
know.
that's what's fun about this because you really just be yourself. Like, here you go. We had glitches, we couldn't get stuff to work, but we figured it out.
That's exactly right. So I'm going to try to do a screen share and see if I have to go out again. Let's try this.
Okay, get your screen share.
I shut down some other stuff that was open.
Hey, Laura. Hey, Lisa.
I'm going to shut this
Crazy.
down too.
Yeah, and we have
Right.
the dogs have joined us because
AT&T coming.
I know AT&T it is. Boom. Now that I was going to say earlier today, hey, Mark, I was going to say earlier today, you could have been selling AT&T.
I could have been. Yeah. But no. So let's see if this will work here. Come on and work. Spodioti.
You're getting there. We're making some progress.
Yes.
Yes.
I am excited. Excited.
Who
so
is that? Okay. We good now?
We're good now. There's Mark. Right. I'm assuming that may be Jana or Delon or Rena, but probably Jana.
Hey, probably Utah. All right, hey, Alan, take it away, big guy.
So, let me tell you, I'm excited about tonight's training. And I'm just going to tell you that if you don't have pen and paper out, get some pen and paper out. Because we are about to, and Lisa and I have been discussing this, we are about to share with you tonight. This industry is so, it's not a complicated business. It's really not. And so we're about to share, I've done presentations before. I think I've told you this before, where I would do a 30, 45 minute on stage presentation. I think 45, I think the longest I ever went was 40 minutes in front of, 5,000 people. And so here's the deal. I have done a long training before, and at the end of it, some people took notes, some people weren't. And I would say, hey, listen, now, would you like for me to share with you the secret, the trick to building a successful business? Would anybody here like for me to share that with them? And they'll all like, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, we just did this long training and now they're looking for a secret. I was talking to someone last week and they said, I'd like to get more involved in that so I can learn the tips and tricks. The tips and tricks. Well, tonight we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you the one thing that will enable you to build a successful network marketing business, whether your goal is $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month. This one thing is the difference in people who never make any money in this industry, who come in the business and struggle, and say it didn't work because of A, B, C, D, E, and F, and those people who are making $250,000 a month. There's one thing. And listen, here's the deal. That one thing that we're going to share with you tonight will also not only change your business and change the success that you have in your business, but before it does that, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Hey, Rena, good to see you. Joe's on.
Irina.
There's another
Hey,
Facebook user on.
Joseph.
It's going to change your life. And so I shared the screen earlier, but I'm going to go back to the screen. And that one thing is belief. Is belief. And you know, Lisa, you and I were talking about that. And we were talking about your story. And I think a lot of times people think, well, easy for you guys to have belief, you know. And so we're not talking about belief in Touchstone. That's not a question mark. Touchstone is a 9-year-old company that the owner and founder has had success in the direct sales business for 30 plus years, a close to $500 million company doing business in 63 countries around the world, with the 3 top selling, top talked about, hottest nutritional trends in the world, with a compensation plan that is bar none. And I've worked with a lot of companies. Lisa, you work with a lot of companies. Bar none, the greatest compensation plan available. A website that is so easy to use, so functional, so easy for people to order. They do all the work. They have to worry about, see, we think about, oh yeah, Eddie and his team, they're meeting with the growers in the field. They're out there in the dirt. They do all that work for us. We don't even have to worry about it, you see. Then they make sure that the harvest is harvested, the crops are harvested and taken to the processing plant to be processed at the proper temperature, cold processed, put into the containers, sealed up, and shipped to our warehouse. Where when your people go online, your customers or you or your BBOs or your affiliates and go online and place an order, they then take that order, package it up, put the little insert in there, put the label on it, and ship it to your customer. But before they do that, they actually take that customer's information and they process the credit card for you. They take care of the fees because there's fees involved in accepting credit cards. They take care of setting all that up. They handle all the money. They package the product. They ship it to you, to the customer. And then on Friday, they process commissions for you. See, there's no question about that. They've never, ever not paid commission. They've never, ever not paid commission on time, early several times. They've never, ever, have we ever had to say, hey, something's wrong with that? They've never, ever not replaced product that was damaged or that somebody said, I want my money back or the seal was broken. You know, we had one person in our powdered protein powder, there's some little colored specks that are part of the product. That's part of the ingredients. We've literally had people go, oh, no, I don't want this one. Ship me a new one. And we say, great, just so you know, when you get in here's one. And they'll say, great, and they'll ship them a new one. So none of that is in question. Right? Right?
Crazy right. Crazy right.
Now, the direct sales industry, that's not in question. That's not in question. There's hundreds of us out there making multi-6-figure incomes. There's people making multi-7-figure incomes. Did you know that there's more money earned in the direct sales business than the professional sports industry? We're not talking about football. We're talking about football, baseball, basketball. The professional sports industry, the professional music industry. You know, Rihanna. I'm not sure who Rihanna is, but that name popped in my mind. Rihanna. Keith Urban for you country folks, Madonna for you other country folks, all those people, you know, Tom Jones, you know, both of them.
The Tom Jones.
Yeah, the Tom Jones. There's more money earned when you take all professional sports, all professional music, and all professional actors. The acting industry, you combine all 3 of those together And there's more money earned in the network marketing business each year than all three of those combined.
Dang, that's big.
Huge.
That's huge.
There's more millionaires created in the direct sales industry than all three of those combined. Sports, movies, music, more millionaires created in the direct sales business than all three of those combined. So the direct sales business, which has been around since 1897,
Yep.
when a little company called Avon started.
Mm-hmm.
1897, 1997, well over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not in question. That's not a belief factor. It works. Not the company. Their products are terrible. But the industry works. This company works 9 years, successful. People out there making, $30,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month here with us, Touchstone.
Yeah.
So none of that's in question. No, so you don't have to doubt, worry about the systems work, the tools work, the block. I mean, everything, the verb, everything we have here, everything we have. So you say, well, okay, so that's not in question. So what's the one thing that we're missing? Belief in
yourself.
Belief in you.
Yeah.
Belief in you.
Big time.
Lisa, I love your story. I do. And, I drag it out of you all the time.
I'm just sitting here giggling right now because anybody tuning in to watch has got to think, where the heck is she sitting and what's up with this? But
it's Christmas in Georgia.
It's Christmas. We just got to get it out. Here's the beautiful thing about what we do. When you can't figure out your internet and it's giving you issues 5 minutes before it's showtime, you find the closet that has good internet with a Christmas tree and the show goes on because you believe in it. It doesn't matter. Your team's out there cheering you on. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
So here's what happens is this, okay, is there was a time, Lisa, that the people came knocking on your door, and I can't imagine that conversation. And they said, and you were had marriage, 3 kids, things going on, life, you're just rolling right along. You had worked in the veterinary industry, veterinary medicine, and you had quit doing that to stay home and take care of your kids. And all of a sudden, not the knock on the door that I got from the door-to-door salesman yesterday, Feliz Navidad. Not the knock on the door that I got from the door-to-door salesman yesterday. The knock on the door from was it the repo man or was it the foreclosure man? Someone
handed me a subpoena, which I've never been handed in my life. So there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that happened, and then I can't imagine the next few months. How long did it take you for you to go, I'm out of here? How long?
Probably about 3 months, enough for me to just feel a little bit like I could at least feed the kids and I, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So did that rock your world?
Well, yeah. I mean, in a way, it's so many years ago now that when we talk about it, I can feel a little bit of how I felt then. As you're talking about the knock on the door, I'm remembering like it was yesterday, opening the door and this woman handing me this and saying, we're repossessing your van and foreclosing on your home. And I knew nothing. And as embarrassed as I am to say that, at this point now in my life, I'm excited to share that because dang, you just don't know what could be going on. But it rocked my world in way too big of a way for me to even put into words right now.
So here's the deal. So the stories, so I can imagine the story that you were telling yourself going, oh my gosh, my life's ruined. My life's over.
You go to the grocery store to buy groceries and your card's declined. And you're like, what do you mean? And everybody in line is standing there waiting. Well, your card's declined. And I didn't have Alan Newell behind me in the checkout line to say, here, let me pay for this for you. Like he does now on Wednesdays, right? Mm-hmm. And it was mortifying for me because I'm a smart woman and I thought I had everything under control. And to find out that the people you trusted most in your life were being deceitful and things were going on, and I was embarrassed and mortified, and I truly felt like I was in a hole so deep I did not know how I was going to get out. So it was a look, everybody's got different things in their life that are tough. For me, that was probably one of my lowest.
So here's the deal. So here's where we're going with this. You see, the belief in yourself comes from one thing, and that is the stories you tell yourself and believe create the story of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. See, let me tell you something. Your life is not real. It's not. It's simply the stories that you've told yourself that makes it real. And so at one point, so Lisa, you had to recreate your life story. You had to change the script and become the hero for your children and say, okay, because I'm sure you were thinking, what now? What do I do now?
Seriously.
Right.
Seriously,
And where was your, so during that couple of months where you're trying to figure it out, where was your belief in yourself and
no,
in
I
life?
had zero. No, I had nothing. I had no self-confidence, no belief. What I thought was my world was just completely ripped out from under me. And I was embarrassed, depressed, angry, sad. I didn't know what to do, and desperate, in a huge way, desperate to figure out, mostly angry at him.
Yeah. And see, what you're describing are feelings. So the story created feelings that created belief. Those feelings of embarrassment, those feelings of failure, those feelings of how could I be so stupid not to see this? I know when I went through my divorce of 21 years and found out the day I'm rolling my suitcase out the door, moving away because it was just such a disaster. And my wife was like then trying to figure out how to get me to stay. And she said, is it because I was seeing this person she was seeing? I had no clue. So now I've got to go, okay, so this was a disaster. And how stupid was I not to see that?
Yeah. I get it. Yep.
And so here's what has to happen is this. And so your story was, oh my God, I went to school, veterinary medicine, had a great life, had a great marriage. I got dumped on, I got cheated, I got robbed, I got this, I got that, I got blah, 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 blah. Many of us out there are telling ourselves this story. Let me put a spin on that. Let me change that red light story to a green light story. What if, and see, hindsight's 20/20. But see, what if you could have said at that time, oh, boy, I tell you, God's working in my life. He must have something big for me. Not only is he challenging me, he's pushing me out there and saying, you're going to do this. I've been trying to encourage you, but now you got no choice. I'm putting you out there because I have total faith and belief in you, and I'm going to create a superstar who's going to earn over $750,000 a year in the next 4 years, 3 years, 3 years,
3 or 4 at that point.
Yeah. So in the next 4 years, had you told yourself that story, and how would you have felt right then if you changed that story?
No, fear was my biggest.
Yeah, that you were telling yourself.
That I was telling myself. Fear for sure. And gosh, when you step out.
And see, here's what happens. Is this. You have to understand something about the power of belief. The most important area you need this belief in is this: in yourself. in yourself. Okay. So I'm looking up here, and there's Joe and Nan are on. And Joe was on a call a while back. It's been a couple of months ago. And Joe was here right out a year ago. Right out a year ago. Came through. He's going to, I think they're going to Florida next week or in a couple of weeks. They do it each year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so Joe came through and hey, I'm in town. I'm going to visit Alan. And they weren't here to visit me. They were actually here to visit Debbie Stella. But I'm like, hey, let's meet for lunch. And we're talking about the business. And I said to Joe, Joe, can I be honest with you? And he said, sure. And I said, the only problem you've got is you don't believe in yourself. And he teared up. Well, you know what? A few months ago, he was on a call and he said it was the best thing Alan ever told me. Now, what we've got to work on is changing that belief, because, see, here's the deal. When you change those red light stories, see, the hidden force that's holding you back and keeping you from the results that you want is your lack of belief in yourself to build a successful business.
And adding to that, Alan, I'll never forget when I first joined the business that I did back in that tough time, because those businesses never work. So I give it a try to get out. I didn't believe in myself at all, but my upline did. And she told me she did all the time. And it was so powerful for me. So, it's in just speaking about Joe, the fact that he sat and listened to you and you gave him ideas and things to do. Sometimes that's just what you need, is to feel like someone believes in you to help you cross through. And you can't look at it as, I'm going to go from here to there, to the finish line. You're just going one tiny little step at a time through this to get there. So it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And see, a lot of people say, oh, well, you were practicing tough love with Joe. I mean, Lisa and I talk all the time, and I practice what people would consider tough love with her. But see, it's not tough love. It's simply love.
I practice tough love with you too. That's the team effort, right? Yeah, you gotta.
Well, the point is this, is if you truly love the people that you work with, you'll be honest with them.
Right, exactly.
You see, if I need to tell you something that's going to help you personally in your business, and I don't tell you, then I don't care enough about you to tell you. And the same thing goes back and forth. And so that's what I'm saying. And see, here's what happens is most of the time you're not even likely, you don't even aware that you're doing it. You're not aware that you're doing it. No. That you are the only reason you don't have the results you want in your business. You have to believe that I am possible. I am possible. Believing in yourself is the first secret to success, because you have to get there first. And see, now a lot of people think, well, yeah, but now that you've gotten there, well, you know what? I mean, Lisa, you and I were talking about this, and the red light stories and the green light stories, okay? They don't ever go away.
No.
We still tell ourselves red light stories at times.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different red light story than when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's red light stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we talk today about the money you want to make. You got to be able to believe that you can earn it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we were talking about some of your year has had so much going on, and moving, and from the West Coast to the East Coast, and children, and all this, and COVID, and this going on and that going on. And so during that time, you found yourself telling yourself some red light stories.
Just a few.
Just
of course. Of course. Yeah.
And the reason that I say that is not to put Lisa on the spot and embarrass her, but to make sure that you understand that no matter what level you are, you're still going to, but see, now she's able to recognize that as oh, that's a red light story. That's not true. I can fix that.
Yeah.
I can change that.
Alan, I want to address that too, since we're there talking about me and my red light stories. Eddie always says, the more you tell your story, whether the people are want to be part of this business or not, tell it to as many people as you can, because the more you practice it, the better you'll get. And it's not that you have to practice your story, but you kind of do. You got to be comfortable with where you're at and what you're sharing, the more success you're going to have. And you might have a spouse or significant other or people in your life that don't necessarily believe in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that can have an effect on you. And that, for me personally, drives me to tell my story more. And you know what? I've held back on talking to people that I know need to know about Touchstone, would want to know, would be great at Touchstone, because I'm worried about what I'm going to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm with my kids or with my significant other, whoever I'm with, like, oh, that person, don't talk to them. They're not going to be any good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had to work really hard, especially now in my new world, to not let that get in my head and really work hard to shut that red light story out. Because the truth is, had someone said that about me, where I was at my life and the timing of everything falling apart, I never would have had the experience I had in the industry. So you're right. There might be people that I talked about Touchstone that really wouldn't be good at it, but there might be one in there that could be Alan Newell or Denise Longton or, some Lisa Diaz, and anybody that wants to really run and build this business. So even us, even when you know it, you've walked it, you've lived it, you've tasted it, you've experienced it, you've gone to your bank account on Monday morning and you've had $30,000 put in there for 1 week in this business because this team you built. Even when you've lived it and been in it and believed it, you still can go through this and go through the ride and stop believing in yourself for whatever red light stories are going on. So it's really, you gotta just know that it can happen to any of us, and we can get back through it and believe.
Yes. And what she's referring to there is, listen, the reason that we say stay plugged in, the reason we say attend these calls, the reason we say attend the events, we got one coming up April 17th. The reason we say stay plugged in with your upline is because you're going to have people around you. You want to surround yourself with people that believe in what you're doing and believe in you, because you're going to have the naysayers. You see, we have unsupportive spouses sometimes. I know I'll tell people all the time, listen, if your spouse is totally against what you're doing, you're going to struggle. Mm-hmm. Let's at least get them neutral, so they say, okay, you can go build a business. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll support you. You got to get them there. You have to. And so people around you, and family's the worst. So here's the deal. And so you can't listen to those stories. You're the only reason you're not having the results you want. The reality is this: most of you have never even given yourself a chance.
No.
Because you don't believe in yourself. And see, that's sad. That's sad, because every single person, see, the beautiful thing about the network marketing business is there's not one single person who can't be successful in this business. I don't care if you can't read. You can be successful here. I don't care if you went through the 3rd grade. You can be successful here. I don't care if you don't speak English and you're living in America. You can be successful here if you believe in yourself. You see, some of you have been stuck for years because of this without even knowing it. Do you struggle with inconsistency in your business? Inconsistency, that's a belief issue. You only stop taking actions towards your goals the second you stop believing that those dreams are possible for you. Do you ever find yourself self-sabotaging your own success? Deep down inside, you believe that you are only worth a certain level of success, and you'll do everything in your power to make sure you get it. And a lot of times the belief problem we have is this. A lot of times we believe in the company, we believe in the products, but we don't believe we are a good enough leader, or we can't, I don't want to enroll. Now see, most of this is subconscious. Well, I don't want to enroll them because I've enrolled 7 people and they weren't successful, so I'm a bad leader. That's a red light story. You're not responsible for their success. I'm not responsible for Lisa's success. She is. She is. My job is to provide her the tools, the training, the opportunity, and everything that everybody has. And that's my job, is to provide her with the support, the encouragement, the guidance, and say, here's what you need to do. If she chooses not to, that's not on me. But sometimes we, for whatever reason, stop believing in ourselves because we think, well, we're not good enough. Even if it means undermining and derailing your own business results, you will do it. Do you have a failure that's holding you back? Think about that for a second. That's a belief issue.
So many people do. That's one of the biggest ones.
Huge.
Yeah, huge.
Your belief creates your reality. You see, it says in the Bible, and I'm no expert on the Bible, but I can tell you that it says in the Bible, if you ask believing, and you can achieve it. It goes back to that old statement, is if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. It's belief in yourself. And it comes little by little. And it comes by telling yourself, it's not a fear of failure that's holding you back. It's a fear of what you think that failure means. Not that you failed, but instead that you are a failure. You see, I always tell people this. There's only one way to fail in the network marketing business. Do you know what that way is? Quit. Quit. It's the only way to fail is if you quit and give up.
You know, that's so true. And I always give kudos to people. They'll say to me, oh, I don't know, I've tried like 5 or 6 companies. This just isn't for me. You know, that's not true. The fact that you're even open to taking a look at a direct selling business is a huge kudos to you. Maybe it's just not been the right fit or the right leadership, whatever it is that you need to have to connect. I know in my personal experience, it was at the time when the book, The Secret, was real popular, and I had never read the book until I got through my, journey in the success. And the one thing that really hit home for me was I didn't even think about all these words they're putting at you and all this. I just was in it and I did it. And every time I would go out, I'd believe more. And so there was absolutely nothing stopping me from whoever I was going to talk to. There was no rocking my world. No naysayer was going to naysay me in any way with what this business could do. And all of that comes from again, let's beat up the word belief, but you have to be, in this book I read that hit me so hard. If you do something every day that you're motivated in and passionate about and believe in, untold magic will happen. And you gotta find it and feel it. And when you do, there's no stopping you.
Right, right. I love what Mark says here. It's easy to lose belief in yourself. We all struggle with that at times. We all have a tendency to tell ourselves red light stories. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with positive people. And if you don't have positive people in your friends and relatives, get some new friends. And don't hang out with your relatives. Right. And this slide here that's coming up, this is really cool. We were talking about this earlier, Lisa.
Yeah.
You see, on the right over here is when you first start building your business. That's when every single day in the business, you're afraid and you seem overwhelmed because you're trying to push this rock uphill. You're behind it and you're pushing it. It's heavy and I'm not making a lot of change and I'm not making a lot of progress. But you got to have the courage to say, we can do this. You see, this is a team sport. This is a team business. And so, first of all, as it says right here, you've got to believe we can do it. We can do it. Believe the system's there. So what happens is you start this rock, I'm pushing it uphill, and then you say, hey, Lisa, come help me push this rock up the hill. And then Lisa joins. And now there's 2 of us pushing the rock. And I say, hey, and then I say, hey, Denise, come help me move this rock. And now there's 3 of us pushing that rock. And it gets a little bit easier, you see. And then I say, hey, girls, who do y'all know that can help us? Oh, I know this Mark Fisher guy. He can help us roll the rock. Mark, get over here and help us roll this rock. Now there's, 4 of us rolling the rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hey, who do you know? Oh, well, I know this lady, or I know a guy. He'll help us roll the rock. And then 5's rolling the rock, and 6 rolling the rock. And pretty soon we've got this team of people. You see, back in the Roman days, when you look at these pyramids they built, and they go, that's one of the wonders of the world. Well, I kind of agree with that, because they didn't have the tools. They didn't have tractors. They had sticks with other stones on them. They were digging and creating in these pyramids. And you're thinking, how do they do it? Well, they did it by teamwork and believing that they were going to do it, and all coming together as one and believing that they were going to do it. So the more people you get rolling the rock, see, then it's kind of like your flock of geese. You ever notice how the geese are all in an arrow? Well, the lead goose is not always the same one. They're out there breaking the wind and flying. And then when they get tired, they move to the back of the line, and the next one moves up. And he's got energy, and he's fresh, and he beats the wind for a little bit, and everybody else is drafting. And then that one goes back, and she jumps up, and she leads the way for a little bit. And it's a team effort. It's a team effort that gets you where you want to go. And by doing that, you bring a group of people on, and see, each and every time that you add somebody, your belief gets a little bigger. Your belief gets a little bigger, and your team gets a little bigger. It's just step by step. But the key is this, and what we're here to talk about is this today, and that is that there's not one single person who's listening to this. I don't care if you're listening to it live or listening to the record, that does not have the ability within themselves to achieve success. Because if Lisa can have, was it summons?
It was a subpoena for repossession. Yeah, see in court. See in court. We're taking your
keys.
Yeah, bring your keys to your van and your house too.
Yeah. And so there she was, starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Nothing. If I'm a guy with a GED. Some people have PhDs, public high school diplomas. Some people have college degrees. I found that those people with them college degrees, they're not near as they're not good at this. I mean, I'm not knocking college, but most of them think they're too smart for this. And the reality of it is they're too arrogant for this. Most of them. I'm not saying that there's
not everybody, right?
But those of us who are out there who've been beat down, those of us who are out there who've got the subpoena, who at 44 years old went to put a credit card in the machine to get gas in Moxville, North Carolina, and said, crap, I got no money. I got to get busy. Those of us who GED, 10th grade education, high school, those of us who say, you know what, Dad, burn it. I deserve to be successful. And I know that there's nothing going to hold me back. I see on here that Lisa Diaz said this, and I don't put this up because it's me. Great sport. Is great sport. But I talked to Lisa last night, I think it was, and she said, I just wanted you to know that I am fired up. I'm excited, and I'm going to make this happen. This is going to be my year. And I was like, she had me so fired up by the end of the call. I was like, can I sign up under you?
Yeah.
I
love that.
She was just fired up.
Yeah.
And that's where the belief comes. And see, here's the deal. We've got a huge team of people. You've got some amazing upline leaders, and we're here to support you because we love you. We want to serve you, and we want to grow together. And so when your belief gets rattled, reach out to one of us so we can be there to support you. It happens to all of us.
Yep. And just reflecting on our day-to-day and the call we had and the call last night with Eddie and Craig. Alan, when you first introduced me to Touchstone, we didn't even have half the tools that we have now. And when you started the call today talking about the belief in the company and all the positives about it, that was even why I said, okay, I'm in. Because for anybody that's watching, that's been in the direct selling industry, and we know there's a lot of muckety muck junk out there, unethical companies, unethical leaders. If you truly have looked before and you find Touchstone, you know that you've struck gold. And it's just a matter of plugging into the tools and the belief and going to the events to get your business off the ground. And guess what? It may take some of us longer than others, and that's okay. But gosh, we didn't even have a verb app. We didn't have the videos that we have. We didn't have Craig doing calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Eddie. Like, we were doing it all ourselves. We didn't have gift cards. Yeah.
We didn't have CBDO.
No. And guess what? We were getting our businesses rocking and rolling, without all of that. So yeah, it's such a great time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's so much better than it was. We didn't have, oh, golly, and so, and I want to say something here real quick, because here's the deal. When you go out there with confidence and believing in yourself, people will listen to you. It's not about what you say. It's about how you say it. If you come across with confidence and belief, people will follow you. That's what it's all about. You have to believe in yourself before they will. We talked about it earlier today. I don't know whether it was Live at 11 or the Leaders Call, one of those two calls, where I said, Lisa and I have known each other for a long time. And if we went separate ways for the next year or so and communicated with each other, and I called Lisa up and I said, and see, my conversation with her would be, hey, Lisa, hey, girl, listen, I know it's been a few years, but I've got something that's really, we got to take a look at. This is going to be a great run for us. We're going to make money. It's going to be powerful. I know we've been retired for the past 2 years, but I want you to run with me on this deal. It's good. Let's go. I'm going to send you a video to watch and get you signed up. Let's get you started today. Lisa would go, all right, let's go.
For sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah. But see, if I just sent her a link, and she wouldn't respond.
Mm-mm.
If I called her up and said, I don't know, I found this deal and I'm not sure about it, but I don't know. I mean, hey, I'm bored. I want to do something. And, we've been retired for a couple of years, and why don't, take a look at it and, kind of, and tell me what you think. Tell me your opinion. You see, if I did it that way, she's going to pick it apart because I'm not confident in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we know each other, trust each other, and like each other. Mm-hmm. And that means so much. And part of that, it comes from confidence and belief in myself and belief in what we're talking about. And see, she may look at the thing and go, well, it's not great, but I believe in Alan. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he believes in it. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for her. Same thing goes. So you got to believe in yourself. And you know what? Hey, you're going to be a great leader. You're going to have a huge team. You're going to have great success. The next person you enroll might be the next star ambassador. You got to keep telling yourself that. Mm-hmm. And if they're not successful, it's not your fault, because we got the tools, we got the company, everything's there. But see, there's people that are begging for this opportunity, and you don't cheat them. Don't hold it back.
Yeah.
Share it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I love your story. We're into this for 43 minutes. Thanks for joining.
They're all in bed.
Yep. And so go out there and think about what you want to do. And here it is right here.
Uh-huh.
Plugging in.
Yep. Plugging in.
Because we love you. We're here to support you. The company's here to support you. We have your back. We got your back. Trust me when I say we want you to be highly successful.
We do. And trust us when we say we've walked in your shoes. We all started in the same place. And, with being newbies at whatever, direct sales, Touchstone, whatever. So call us, plug into us. Let us help you.
Amen. Love you guys. Have a great night. Tomorrow, live at 11.
Thanks,
And then
Alan.
tomorrow night is an opportunity call. The challenge I threw out there today, I did this on the leaders call, I think, but I'm going to do it right now too. I challenge each and every one of you out there that's listening right now to believe that you're going to have success tomorrow night, because believe this, put a minimum of 2 new prospects on that call tomorrow night and watch what happens. Just 2 new prospects. Just say, hey, listen, do me a favor. This is a big deal. I trust you. I know you don't know me that well. Or, hey, listen, trust me on this. Believe in me. I believe in this. Just watch the call. You're going to be blown away. Put them on the call, plug them in, and watch what happens. Have a great night. We love you guys.
Love it.
Thanks,
Bye,
Lisa.
everybody. Thanks, Alan.